Chosen one, stop scrolling. God didn't whisper this by accident. He said, don't touch it. And what happens next will shock you. Because the pause you're in right now is not punishment, it's prophecy. The moment God said stop, you felt the urge to act, but something stronger held you back. That wasn't fear, it was divine restraint. Chosen ones are stopped right before destiny shifts, because touching it too early would cancel the miracle. Why you were warned. Not everything that looks ready is aligned. God protects what He plans to elevate. Delay is a shield, not a denial. You were spared from ruining what heaven prepared. The hidden test. Chosen ones are tested through silence, through waiting when others rush, through restraint when ego wants control. This is how spiritual authority is built. What makes you different? You sense things before they happen. You feel energy shift in rooms. You outgrow places suddenly. That's not confusion, it's calling. The awakening phase. You started questioning everything. Old beliefs no longer fit. Loneliness became familiar. Awakening always feels like isolation first. Why society resists you. Awakened souls expose comfort zones. Your presence disrupts false peace. People feel uneasy around truth, so they try to silence it. The pressure to touch it. You were tempted to force outcomes, to prove your worth, to rush the promise. But God blocked your hands for a reason. Spiritual restraint is power. Real power knows when to wait. Chosen ones move on divine timing. Silence becomes strategy. Stillness becomes strength. What happens when you obey? Heaven rearranges things quietly. Enemies reveal themselves naturally. Doors open without effort. And you don't have to fight anymore. The shock is coming. The same thing you were told not to touch will be handed to you effortlessly, in a way you never imagined. That's how God confirms obedience. Why you felt overlooked. God hides His strongest vessels. Preparation happens in private. Elevation happens in public. You're closer than you think. The chosen burden. You carry weight others can't. You feel emotions deeply. You sense injustice quickly. That sensitivity is spiritual sight. Divine isolation. God separated you on purpose. Not to break you, but to build you. Distractions had to fall away, so clarity could arrive. Your energy changed. You don't argue like before. You don't chase validation. You observe more. That's maturity of the spirit. Why they misunderstood you. Chosen ones don't fit templates. Your path scares the unawakened. They project their fear onto you. But God knows your heart. The silence before elevation. Right before breakthroughs, things go quiet. No signs. No confirmation. Just faith. Obedience unlocks favor. You didn't touch it. You didn't force it. You trusted God instead. That's why favor is rushing toward you now. The shift you'll feel. Peace will replace anxiety. Clarity will replace confusion. Confidence will replace doubt. That's the sign it's happening. Chosen ones don't beg. What's divine doesn't require desperation. What's meant arrives with ease. You're learning that now. And it's changing you. The people who left, they weren't meant to go further. Their season expired. God removed them gently to protect what's next. Your authority is growing. You speak less but impact more. Your presence shifts rooms. Your words carry weight. That's spiritual rank. Why this message found you. Because you're ready. Because you listened. Because you didn't touch it. And heaven took note. The shock will be public. Those who doubted will watch. Those who laughed will be silent. Those who left will remember. God doesn't need revenge, He reveals. This is your confirmation. You're not behind. You're not forgotten. You're being positioned. And it's happening now. Chosen one reminder. Obedience always looks foolish. Right before it looks genius. Trust the pause. Trust God's hand. Before you go. If this message spoke directly to you, don't ignore it. Like this video to seal the confirmation. Subscribe to Chosen Wave if you feel this awakening in your spirit. And comment below, what is the one thing God told you not to touch? The waiting room of destiny. This season feels slow on purpose. Nothing is moving, yet everything is aligning. Chosen ones are trained in patience before power. Because rushed hands can't carry sacred assignments. Why God said hands off. Some things look good but aren't God. Some opportunities test obedience, not readiness. If you touched it, you would have settled. God is protecting you from a smaller version of your calling. The inner war you felt. Your flesh wanted action. Your spirit wanted obedience. That tension is familiar to the chosen. Because destiny always wrestles impatience first. Spiritual maturity looks like restraint. Anyone can react. Few can pause. Chosen ones master silence. That's how heaven trusts them with more. The signs started increasing. You noticed repeated numbers. Dreams became intense. Messages found you randomly. God was confirming what He already told you. Why others moved faster than you. They weren't meant to go far. Speed doesn't equal alignment. Some paths are shortcuts to burnout. Yours is built for endurance. The energy shift around you. People treat you differently now. Some admire you quietly. Some envy you silently. Your spirit outgrew familiar frequencies. Why you felt spiritually alert. Your intuition sharpened. Discernment became automatic. You sense lies without proof. That's spiritual sight activating. The cost of being chosen. You lose interest in shallow things. You detach without hatred. You walk alone without bitterness. That's the price of elevation. God tests before He trusts. Can you wait without complaining? Can you obey without understanding? Can you stay faithful without applause? These are chosen-level questions. The trap you avoided. Had you touched it, pride would have entered. Had you forced it, control would have replaced faith. God blocked you to keep you clean. Purity preserves power. Why your heart felt heavy. Burden comes before breakthrough. Weight builds spiritual muscle. You were carrying future responsibility early. God was strengthening you quietly. Divine protection in disguise. That delay saved you from betrayal. That pause spared you from embarrassment. That silence avoided spiritual leakage. You were guarded, not ignored. Your name was mentioned in heaven. Every obedient pause echoes upward. Angels move on restraint. Heaven responds to trust. Your obedience activated unseen movement. Why you're seeing truth clearly now. Illusions no longer impress you. Surface-level connections bore you. You crave depth. That's a sign of spiritual promotion. The inner confidence growing. You don't need validation anymore. You trust your discernment. You move differently. Authority feels natural now. What they don't know. They think you stopped trying. They think you gave up. They think you fell behind. but you were listening to God. The sacred pause. God pauses his strongest vessels, so they don't mistake speed for success. Stillness refines motives. Silence sharpens vision. Your spirit recognized this message. That's why you're still watching. That's why your chest feels heavy. That's why it feels personal. Because it is. The line you did cross. Others would have touched it. Others would have forced it. You chose obedience over ego. And that choice is about to echo loudly. The season of unseen preparation. While nothing around you looked different, everything within you was changing. God was rewiring your reactions, not your circumstances. Chosen ones are shaped internally before anything shifts externally. That's why this season felt quiet but heavy. Why discomfort increased. Comfort would have slowed your growth. Restlessness was a signal, not a flaw. Your spirit was outgrowing old containers. Expansion always feels uncomfortable first. The burden of knowing too much. You see patterns others ignore. You sense motives before words. That awareness can feel isolating. But discernment is a chosen gift. God was watching your response. Not your speed. Not your results. Your obedience. He measures hearts, not hustle. The inner separation. You stopped craving approval. You stopped explaining yourself. You stopped forcing connections. That detachment was divine. Why you felt spiritually alert at night. Stillness amplifies revelation. God speaks when noise sleeps. Your spirit stayed awake because instructions were downloading. The temptation to doubt yourself. Moments of questioning were expected. Chosen ones are tested mentally first. Doubt tries to rush obedience. Faith waits without proof. What you were being shielded from. Some alliances carried hidden agendas. Some doors hid spiritual debt. Had you entered, it would have cost you peace. God blocked access to protect your future authority. Your emotional depth increased. You feel joy deeply. You feel pain honestly. You feel truth instantly. Sensitivity is not weakness, it's tuning. Why you outgrew old dreams. Those visions were stepping stones. They served their purpose. Your assignment expanded beyond them. God upgrades dreams as vessels mature. The weight on your chest. That wasn't anxiety. That was anticipation. Your spirit sensed movement before manifestation. Chosen ones feel shifts early. Heaven's silence was strategic. God doesn't always explain, he positions. Silence removes dependency on signs. Trust matures in quiet seasons. You were being taught how to hear him alone. Why you became selective. Not everyone deserves access. Not every conversation is safe. Your energy became guarded. That's wisdom, not pride. The inner authority forming. You no longer panic under pressure. You pause instead of react. You observe before deciding. Leadership was forming quietly. Why old habits fell away. They couldn't survive your new awareness. Desire changed naturally. Discipline replaced impulse. That's spiritual alignment. God's timing versus human timing. Humans rush to feel important. God waits to build impact. Chosen ones learn heaven's pace. And it frustrates the impatient. The pull toward solitude. Isolation wasn't punishment. It was calibration. Noise distorts direction. Silence sharpened your focus. What this season revealed. Who was genuine. What truly mattered. Where your loyalty lay. And how strong your faith really was. The growth no one applauded. You healed quietly. You forgave silently. You matured privately. But heaven recorded everything. Why you're still holding on. Something in you knows. This isn't over. This isn't wasted. This is preparation. Chosen one, this is your moment. If this message hit your spirit, don't scroll past your confirmation. Like this video right now to align with what God is activating in you. Subscribe to Chosen Wave if you know you're not here by accident and you're walking an awakened path. And comment below, what is the one thing God told you not to touch, even when it was hard to obey? Your voice matters, your obedience matters, and what's coming next will shock everyone who doubted you.